Well, a fine good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Welcome to the Mahoney County Board of Elections. It's about 5 minutes after 5 on, what is today?
15.
The 15th of August, 2017. The director, please call the roll.
Mr. Monroe.
Here.
Ms. Winbush.
Here.
Mr. Wasco.
Here.
Mr. Beatrice.
Here.
Let's see, we have in front of us the meeting minutes from the May 19 special regular meeting and June 6, 2017 regular meeting. What is the board's pleasure?
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
We also have the office expenses and bills for the period June 2nd through July 28th. What is the board's pleasure?
Move to approve.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Well, one of the main reasons for meeting tonight is to consider the certification of petitions for school boards, township trustees, village councils, and questions and issues. Joyce, what do you have for us?
In front of you is the list of all the candidates. Would you like to do the disqualifications before you certify, or would you like to certify and then disqualify? What would you like to do, Mr. Chairman?
Let's do the disqualifications.
Okay. I have in front of me, for Youngstown City School Board, Melanie Rudolph Ross. She needed 150 signatures. She filed 2008. She only has 136 valid signatures.
Move to disqualify.
Second.
Discussion? Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Youngstown School District, this is a joint filing of two candidates, Stephen Carter and Renee Miles. They filed 158 signatures. They needed 150. They have 92 valid signatures.
Move to disqualify.
Second.
Discussion?
You said, Joyce, you said, was it joint?
Yeah.
Yes, you can file for school board as joint candidates. They filed together. So they filed one petition with both names.
With both names on
There's a motion and a second. Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
This is Kathleen Davidson, Craig Beach Council. She did not put the number of signatures in her circulator system.
That's a fatal flaw, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Move to disqualify.
Second.
Discussion? Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
This is a liquor option for Marinos on Mahoney Avenue. There's a couple things wrong with this petition. They do not have enough signatures, and also the part petitions are filled out with different wording. So this should be disqualified.
Move to disqualify.
Second.
Discussion? Did they get these petitions from us, Joyce? Or-
Yes, and they get a packet of instructions.
Oh, I see. They pulled the wrong petitions out of the packet apparently and,
They fill the wording out incorrectly, differently on each petition.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
It's the correct petition, it's just the
Okay.
wording is different on each one.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Winbush,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
This is for beer and wine at Shelley Doce doing business as Papa's Paradise in Camel. They needed 62 signatures, or 67 signatures. They only had 19 valid signatures.
Move to disqualify.
Second.
Any discussion? Director, call the roll?
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Winbush?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beekman?
Yes.
This is Red Carpet Events LLC, doing business as Blue Wolf. They had filed petitions with us. They needed 196 petitions. They had 191. There is a part petition that the board has to make a determination on. They did file with us printed signatures with affidavits saying that these people did sign the petitions. You have in your packet a opinion from the prosecutor and some other information on accepting petitions. As long as we have affidavits or some kind of documentation saying that the person signed the petition with a printed signature, it's okay. The one petition that has a problem, and I have attached all the affidavits to the petitions. The one petition in question is the one filed by Kimberly Rasick. A gentleman signed and swore that he printed his name. He has an affidavit to it, but there are other printed signatures on this one petition. They're not forged. I think Tom talked to the circulator, and the circulator said that he took the petition into the house and signed, just printed some other names on it. They're not forged, they're printed. Usually we deal with people signing other people's names. These are just printed signatures, so.
Well, was the person that printed it, is that the person that printed it, or did someone else print it for you?
No. He printed his family's names, his mother, his father, I think. They're all Lipinski's.
So we're just disqualifying each of these signatures? or
We
the-
already disqualified the signatures, yes.
Okay. and so
Okay,
we're-
do they still have enough with the printed ones?
With the printed ones they brought affidavits in for, they do have enough.
Do you need a motion to approve that?
I'd like the board to look at this first,
You disqualified them.
I disqualified the printed signatures.
But not the ballot.
Not the petition.
Yeah, I think the question was, if a circulator knowingly allows signers to write other person's name on the petition, if they knowingly allow that person to do that, the entire petition can be struck, may be stricken. But apparently in this case, we're aware that the circulator was not aware that somebody else had
Correct.
written the names. I believe that's the
I
case.
spoke with
Correct.
Kimberly, the circulator, she let me go inside the house. Most likely, 2 of those signatures out of 4 are probably good, but the person inside the house then printed 2 additional
Yes,
names.
yes. They're all Lipinski's who he printed, so he probably thought that he could do that for his family.
So the circulator-
Without that petition, they don't have enough.
They don't
signatures.
have enough without that petition.
So the question becomes whether or not we allow that.
Whether or not knowingly
Oh, there was,
he did that, which
was one of these persons, did one of these persons provide an
is
affidavit?
attached, sir, yes, they did.
So one of these signatures might be
Yes.
considered good.
One of them is, I think, is it Chad, or did Charles?
Carl-
Carrie.
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 Yeah, they provided an affidavit for their particular signature.
So if Carrie's is good, but the others are stricken, and with the additional affidavits we have, where does that leave us?
That leaves us at exactly 196, which is what he needed. He brought in affidavits for the other signatures, and they're attached to the petitions within the file here.
I see 2 carries listed on here.
Well, obviously, I think she tried to scratch one out, I don't really know.
What's your recommendation on this, Ms.?
My
Madam
recommendation is that we allow it because I don't think it was done with any, I don't think they did it, yeah, I think they did it. I think it just happened. I believe the circulator,
Okay, I'm not trying to be picky, but this isn't notarized.
if you look at the opinion, it just says that they have to note it knowingly. I don't think it has to be. If you
Okay.
look at the opinion we got from Paul, I don't think it would have to be. We just have to provide.
Well, I'm reading what the lawyer said. It says, "You are hereby advised that the board may accept as a valid signature on a petition which does not conform, provided the board determines that the signature is genuine."
So we've always just asked for affidavits saying that they did sign it. We've done that in the past with traffic and some
Well,
other-
if it's your recommendation, we approve it, I still move them. You're satisfied?
I'm satisfied.
Yeah, I think we both are satisfied. We did quite a little bit of research on this all week.
Well, I trust the staff we've hired.
I spent one.
You trust me.
I mean, at least I trust Tom,
I just heard him say not too long ago, Joyce, that you're always right.
That's what he said. Yeah, I should have got that on
So
tape.
I would move to,
Yeah.
I would move to approve this petition.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Under discussion, I would just say that, I know we went through this with Ricketts, I think Mike,
Yes, we did.
I spent quite a bit of time at our last meeting discussing my objectives, but I'm not gonna go down that road again.
You know, the law is very ambiguous because it's not clear what we're allowed to accept and what we're not allowed to accept. And I think you're right about printed signatures, but, you know.
But Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe,
No.
Ms. Whitworth,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Did I change anything? Did I change your vote?
So you have
What's
before you the
next?
list of all the candidates. You should do the candidates first, then the local options and the issues, as you always do, Mr. Chairman.
We have in front of us the candidates that have qualified for the ballot in November. These are the nonpartisan candidates, excluding those who have been disqualified. Is there a motion to certify these candidates to the November ballot?
With one exception.
Mr. Beatrice?
Joyce, when you, if you could resend this to me, some of them you put, oh, I see. So 2 to elect on the heading on page 2 applies to Austin, Beaver, Berlin,
Right.
Boardman, Canfield,
Correct.
Whitesville. I see. Okay, now I understand it. I thought that just applied to,
I'm always right, Mr. Beatrice.
you are. I second. Did someone make a motion?
No.
We need a motion to certify these candidates.
I make a motion to certify these candidates.
Second.
Any other discussion? Director, call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Winbush,
Yes.
Mr. Wasco,
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Next, we have the local issues to consider.
I thought we did that.
The questions and issues.
Didn't we just approve those?
No,
No,
that
those
was
are
just
candidates.
candidates.
Just the questions and issues, that list is in front of us. These have all been found to be, were there any that didn't qualify?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion to certify the questions and issues as presented to the November ballot?
I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Director, call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
And then finally, the local liquor options that have been found to be valid and sufficient, excluding the ones that have been disqualified. Is there a motion to certify?
Well, we already certified one, right?
No, you just approved, yeah, you did certify it. Yes, you did. The red carpet.
Well, so this is a motion to approve all the ones except red carpet, because we already certified red carpet, right?
Well, if there's any doubt, we can always certify it again.
Okay, we'll have double
We
certification.
need to accept the petition.
Except these two.
I thought we
Well-
moved to accept the petition as it was.
We disqualified,
Camel Ward 3, Austin Town, Precinct 19.
Yeah.
Right.
we disqualified those two. I move that we certify all of the liquor options minus Camel Ward 3, Precinct B,
Caledocia.
Caldocious, I guess how you pronounce it, and Austin Town Precinct 19 Marinos. Outside of those two, I move that we approve all the liquor options.
Very good. There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Director, call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Wasco.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
Very good. Let's see, I guess, That'll conclude my remarks at this time. Let's move on to the director's report.
Yes, sir. I want to ask for the board to approve the implementation of our social media external policy. As you know, I'm moving into the 21st century. I'm going to have a big media presence here at the Board of Elections. Facebook, what is the other thing, Ray, that they do? I don't know what it is. Snapchat. So I would.
Better not be Snapchat.
So we have developed a social media policy here for the Board of Elections so that we will post this on our website, so it will comply with anything that is not appropriate or that we would like to, you know,
I have a
take
couple
out.
questions related to that. One is, did we do this in conjunction with the Secretary of State's guidelines?
Yes, we did.
Gary's
This is
not here,
actually,
is he?
this is actually,
Oh, there-
yes, this is actually what the last seminar was on, and,
I remember I went to that.
yeah, we did a lot, we're doing a lot of things in conjunction with this seminar. We're going to have we take those pictures and put them on
Instagram.
Instagram. Yes, we're gonna have Instagram board at the fair. We're going to do a lot of things. We're gonna be able to post it on our website, the pictures of everybody taking their pictures, voting, and
And we're in compliance with, because anything we do as a board, we have to make sure that we comply with any records requests.
I actually sent this down to the prosecutor's office and had this approved by the prosecutor before I presented it here to the board because I wanted you know, to be within, you know, all the guidelines. And it did fall within the guidelines I have from the prosecutor's office.
I so move that we accept our implementation of our social media external policy and guidelines for public use.
And I second. It's a good idea.
Discussion? Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Winbush?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
We also have gotten from the county a new policy manual that I printed out for you. I would like to adopt the policy manual with a few revisions that we have made over the years about giving sick leave time to a person who may be sick within our office. And also our hiring policies are different than the county's hiring policies. Those are implemented within the manual. So I would like to accept the county's policy manual for the Board of Elections.
All right, I have a couple questions on this.
Mr. Peters?
Is there, because, did you email this to me before? Because this is the first time I'm seeing this.
It's basically the same manual as before with, they've done just a little work on it.
Did you send me a red line one then? I don't have a problem, if you're telling me we gotta do it, I have no problem doing it, it's just, I'd like to see a red line one as to what we're actually voting on, the changes.
Where do they have one?
You understand what I'm saying?
I have an old one that we had, I mean, I can redline.
Did the county redline it?
No, they adopted it themselves, they've adopted it, the commissioners adopted it, themselves, so, it's, do you have the resolution, Ray?
It's in the package.
Okay. The, Mark has,
Yes.
the resolution
Second
was
page.
adopted by
She'll
the,
point out.
Second page.
yeah, by the county commissioners. We've always followed the county policy, except for the few things, like I said, the hiring is different and the.
Yeah, in the past, we've generally adopted the county personnel manual, except for those things which, well, we do differently, that don't apply to us.
Because once we adopt this, this is legally binding on us.
Right.
So
Although,
if there's things in here that we do differently that we've adopted,
Well,
yes,
those are, the changes are in this policy here that we're adopting. I've placed them in here for us under, I think it's number 11, chapter 11 and chapter 2. The changes are in our policies, in this policy.
Leave it after the paid leaves.
The sick leave is different and the hiring is different. Chapter 2 is hiring, chapter 11 is sick leave.
Jim Beam.
in chapter 11 is
Here,
different.
the
Chapter-
first page, I could see that just based on the type, the first page on
Yes,
chapter.
that's what we have always adopted with the
Right.
county, and that is placed in this policy. If you adopt this, I am sending this down to the county to say this is our policy, and our policy will be binding, that's what we, whatever our policy is.
Also, we have the authority to modify this policy at some point. If we discover that there's something in the new policy
Correct.
that just doesn't fit our operation or how we do things, we can certainly make modifications.
Yes, and chapter 11 is a sick leave only policy where if someone has a serious illness and someone has a lot of time, they can donate their time to them. That isn't in the county policy, but we've always done that. It basically is the same thing as we've always had. When I looked it over, you know, like about leaves and lunch hours and breaks and things like that. Not really much different.
The resolution that Joyce proposes we adopt, she's going to ask us to sign it. Let me read this for the record. It says the following board members of the Mahoning County Board of Elections hereby approve adopting the revisions to the Manual of Personnel Policies for Employees of Mahoning County with exceptions. On July 20, 2017, the County Board of Commissioners adopted revisions to the Manual of Personnel Policies for Employees of Mahoning County. These revisions were submitted on recommendations of the Personnel Policy Rewrite Committee. The Mahoning County Board of Elections will adopt these policies as of this date, with the exception being the Board of Elections policies regarding sick leave and hiring practices, policies currently in effect at the board. Be it also resolved that Title 35 of the Ohio Revised Code governing elections will take precedence in regards to Board of Elections operations should a conflict arise. That's the resolution that the director is asking us to approve.
Okay. And this sick leave policy, has the prosecutor signed off on this?
Some unions have it within their policy.
As long as we are legally allowed
Yes, we are legally allowed.
to
as
have
long
one
as we
employee donate to another, that's all I'm asking.
Yes, we are allowed to.
Okay,
We've been doing it.
Yes.
Yes.
all right. I make a motion that we approve the resolution for the recommendations of the Mahoning County Board of Commissioners for revisions to the Mahoning County Personnel Board of Elections Policy Manual.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Winbush?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
I'll pass this around for signatures.
I would like the board to have a motion to hire the necessary staff to help with the November 2017 general election.
I so moved.
Second.
Discussion? Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Winbush?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
When will that training start?
The training will start probably the first week in October. I will have a schedule for you the next
Thank you.
meeting.
Where's Mr. Shaw going?
Mr. Shaw has gotten a new job with the auditor of the state.
Wow.
So it is a Republican position.
So a Democrat gets the billet?
No.
Well, they have the House, the
I have made
Senate.
some changes. I have moved Mr. Blue into Mr. Shaw's position. He will also be handling my media move that I'm making here. And he will be handling the payroll and handling the paying of the bills. So there is a position open for Mr. Blue's job, which is poll workers, Republican poll workers. So,
With the resignation of Jim Shaw, and we wish him all the best, he really has done a great job.
he really did. He had a tear in his eye when he left. I felt bad. I hated to lose him because I finally got him the way I wanted him.
You sure that was a tear?
That was a tear. It was a tear in his eye.
9 years, I thought, fuck
You
it.
know,
That one took Jim too.
But I believe the Republicans are prepared to make a nomination. Ms. Winbush?
I move that we fulfill.
You should probably accept his resignation first.
Yes, we should probably accept, well, he's gone. I mean, he's no longer
No,
with
you have to
us.
work.
He's on someone else's payroll.
Okay, I move that-
I think that can just be received and filed.
Yes, I
don't
think
think
so.
I move that we accept Jill Downey as a replacement for Jim Shaw, who's going to take the position of John Blue's position. She has been working here as a part-time person with John Blue for several years now. She does an excellent job. She has a great scope of the job, and that she has many changes she'd like to make sure that we can ensure that we have good, responsible, intelligent poll workers for our elections.
Jill is an excellent part-time employee, and I think she'll be an excellent employee.
I think it's kind of neat when we can promote a part-time worker into a full-time position.
Democrats never leave.
No comment.
Well, no, wait a minute. We've lost some Democrats over the years. Anyway, there's a motion. I'll be glad to make a second. Any discussion? Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Winbush?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
Yes,
Oh, and I would also move that Jill's starting date be set for Monday, August 21st. It'll be a week from yesterday, the beginning of the pay period. Is there a second?
Second?
Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Winbush?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
yes.
Let's see.
Now we've got paper, Joyce.
Anything else, Joyce?
In the rush,
I am working with, yes, I am working with ComDoc to put online petition verification, which means that a person can go onto our site, fill out their petition. The petition will not be printed until everything is filled in correctly. We will deal with election to election, so only petitions for certain elections will be up on our site, so people don't get the wrong petitions, people don't forget to fill something out that they should have filled out, like the date that they're signing the petition. So Delaware County has implemented it, and I'm coming in on their coattails, and I think it'll be very good for us because we won't have to worry about having problems with petitions.
Tell me this, will we have to worry about maybe a staff member giving them wrong advice and then we have?
No, the way Delaware County deals with it, it's completely, like I said, they can't fill it in wrong, they can't print it out if they haven't filled everything in. It's saved them a lot of trouble with petitions, so I'm not too worried about that unless one prints one off the Secretary of State's website, which, I have no control over. But on our website, it will be advantageous for our local
Will you-
candidates.
I think
Are
Bob,
we
what Bob
good?
is saying is, what if the mistake is made when the form is created?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
ComDoc was already created for Delaware. Delaware's been using it for 2 years. Basically, all Secretary of State's forms are exactly the same.
Are we gonna see a demonstration before?
Yes, we
approve it?
will. Yes, we will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great idea as long as, a lot of times the potential candidate wants to put the blame on us, and so,
The biggest problem we have with candidates is they don't fill in the date that they're signing the petition. They always fill in the date either after they get the signatures or whatever. This will not allow them to do that. I mean, there's just a lot of good things about this particular, it's $1,500 a year, which I think is a safety factor for us. They also can't print out the wrong petitions for an election year, that all the correct petitions for that particular election will be online, up to date.
Some of the fatal flaws might be alleviated.
Fatal flaws might be alleviated, correct,
So,
some. If they don't get enough signatures, there's
yeah.
I have another question. Are we on unfinished business or what are we on?
unfinished business, sir.
Have the
Mr.
kinks,
Beatrice.
have the kinks from the new software we've gotten been worked out?
You mean election night reporting?
Yes.
Yes,
For sure.
for sure, for sure. We use it, yes, it's fine.
I don't want David Skolnick writing bad words about it.
It's been fixed, David.
Too
Too late.
You want some new words?
Any other unfinished business to consider?
No, sir.
Under new business, I'd like to have a discussion about yard sign regulations. I've noticed that hardly an election goes by that the Board of Elections or the Democrat Party
Oh,
or the Republican Party that we get calls about yard signs. When can I put them up? How large can they be? Can I put them on this street corner? I thought it might be appropriate for the board to issue a press release addressing this issue. And I've drafted a press release. It's been sent to all of the board members for consideration. And I'd like the board's authorization to release this press release today. And I'd be glad to read it. I'll read it. Addressing yard sign confusion. Rarely does an election go by without the Board of Elections getting calls from candidates regarding the placement of yard signs. Common questions include, how soon can signs go up, or are there size restrictions? Because of the variety of zoning regulations throughout the county, the Board of Elections cannot offer legal advice as to whether a particular sign is permissible. However, both the Ohio Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court have ruled that because of the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, there are severe restrictions on how far government can go to regulate speech, especially political speech, like yard signs on private property. Generally, arbitrary rules that limit the timing or duration of yard sign placement are not enforceable. Likewise, arbitrary rules regarding the size of signs are not enforceable, especially when larger commercial signs are permitted. Candidates are faced with a variety of differing rules around the county, but they are also aware of their First Amendment rights to free speech. As a result, there is often uncertainty and confusion among candidates who are trying to have their voices heard while trying to respect local laws. With early voting becoming more popular, arbitrary time limits on sign placement creates challenges for candidates trying to reach voters who may be voting almost a full month before Election Day. To help clear some of the confusion, the Board of Elections is asking all townships and municipalities that have regulations regarding political signs to review those regulations with their legal counsel to ensure they are consistent with Ohio and U.S. Supreme Court decisions. We are also asking Mahoning County Prosecutor Paul Gaines to work with the various townships to try and bring some uniformity to the regulation of political signs, so there is assurance that sign regulations meet court mandates to protect the First Amendment rights of candidates. We also want to remind candidates that while their rights to free speech should be protected, they should also be good citizens by being respectful of how and where they place signs, and to clean them up as soon as possible after Election Day. That is the press release, and I would ask for a motion that it be approved.
I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Wasco.
I think it was a good press release, and I think it was timely and needed.
Very much so.
Thank you. Director, call the roll.
Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Ms. Winbush?
Yes.
Mr. Wasco?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
Would you like to send to all the townships, sir, and the prosecutor and the media?
I think that would be appropriate.
And the candidates.
Can we send them out to all the candidates also?
I have to.
Or we could make a part of the candidate packet.
We can make it part of the candidate packet.
Although they
next
already
year.
have-
they
Next
already
year.
have-
Next year.
I think that ship has already sailed, hasn't it?
Yes.
I can send it to the candidates on the list, so it's not a problem.
Any other new business? Are there any board communications to report?
None received by the secretary, Mr. Chairman.
Well, we did receive, I received a letter or something from a lawyer from,
You know, that
That's
does,
under discussion. I think.
you know, that does remind me, under new business also, just a reminder that we are well aware that there are a couple of initiative petitions being circulated in the city of Youngstown. Those have not come before the board yet, but I think we're aware that there was recent legislation passed which gives boards new responsibilities in terms of evaluating those petitions. So I would just encourage the board members to take note of the new law that was passed and to review those petitions so that we can be prepared to deal with that issue probably at our next meeting.
Yes, all information that we've received, plus the wording of them, is in this packet that I just gave you. So in the new letter that we received also.
and in this packet, Joyce, is a letter from our attorneys, right?
There is an opinion from our prosecutor, and there's a letter from an attorney also. And then there's the wording of the amendments. Terry Lodge sent a letter.
That's the one
And
I
then
was,
there's a letter from the Chamber of Commerce also.
Very good.
And then the wording of the amendments.
Thank you. Did the wording changing? Has the wording changed?
The wording
And it got-
changed a little, especially on the new one. I don't know.
Anything for the good of the order before we go on to the public comment session? Are there any public comments this evening? Yes.
Those two communications available for us to pick up and take with us, the Chamber of Commerce communication and the Terry Lodge communication?
Sure, yeah, yes. Those came to the board and those are a matter of public record, yes. Let's see, our next regular meeting is set for,
I'd like to speak, I'm sorry.
oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yes. Susie Beiersdorfer, I just wanted to acknowledge the letter that was sent today from Terry Lodge and just hope that you will review that along with the wording for both petitions. This is not the same old petition because we have rewritten the drinking water protection one to reflect, you know, that our water fund should be used for water quality improvement and infrastructure and not just downtown development. And then the other one is the citizens' attempt to get corporate money out of elections. So, you know, keeping the voice of Youngstown residents as part of the election process. So thank you very much for your consideration. I also had one question. I actually had read in David's article that there was going to be this meeting today. And so I looked on the website and I didn't see anywhere where it has the meeting. And maybe I missed, you know, I know that they're the first Tuesday of the month at 8 a.m. So when I saw that, I thought, well, that probably isn't it. But then I called in and Virginia, you know, kindly said that it was today at 5, so.
Well, as you know, our Jim Shaw left.
Okay.
And he did maintain our website. So now I have John Blue get with him, right? Make sure that he has the meeting.
Yeah, just so we can check and if there's a meeting or not. Thank you very much.
any other comments? Yes.
Hi, Kathleen Berry from Youngstown. The person, Jill, that you have hired, I'm sure you have thoroughly reviewed that she would not be associated with any alt-right or fascist type of groups. Given our climate today in our country,
No,
I'm sure.
she has worked here for many years, and she's an excellent employee, and she is not, no.
I definitely wouldn't have interviewed and nominated an alt-right.
Yeah, no,
like,
she is not,
person.
she is not.
Thank you.
Yeah, she'll fit in with the family very well.
Anything else?
just to address your point, the law mandates that there be an equal number of Democrat employees and
Yeah, we know
Republican employees. So as a courtesy, when there's a Democratic opening, they just let us nominate who we want. And as a courtesy back, when they nominate someone, we approve that person. And I'm assuming that they have vetted that person, and I know Jill because she's gone to a couple conferences, so yeah, I agree. But that's how it works. That the idea is everyone keeps an eye on everyone else. Nothing is ever touched unless both a Democrat and a Republican are there to ensure that there's no hanky-panky going on.
I can honestly say we are one of the few boards in the state where we leave politics at the door. I tell all my employees, when you come through that door, we work for the Board of Elections and we work for the public. We do not engage in politics here in the office. We help everyone fairly and honestly like we always have. And Jill is one of those people, so I think you'll be fine with her.
And we have a great office. I must say, we have one of the most cohesive offices in the state when it comes to working together
We do.
and
Yeah.
getting along and being respectful, even if we differ politically. When they come in here, no matter what they reserve in the back of their mind, you won't know it.
The only problem is our
Separate features.
Secretary of State's rep. Other than that, we have.
I'm glad you had rep.
I was gonna say, I thought the problem lied somewhere else. I wasn't going to go there.
What's that thing?
Any other comments?
Well, let's, do we have the other meeting set so everyone knows?
We
Well,
have to,
well-
well, yeah, go ahead.
I note that our next regular meeting is set for Tuesday, September the 5th. That is the day
Please
after,
no.
that is the day after Labor Day, is it?
No, please no.
Yes.
Depending on when the city makes their verification to us, we have to certify these petitions by September 7th, the petitions that are with the city right now. So we do have to have a meeting before September 7th.
Do we
It could
we
be
have, do we have some,
before.
do we have some
The city-
assurance?
If the city, when the city decides what they're going to do, you know, that's up to them.
But I mean, if the city, say just hypothetically,
23rd.
were to get it to us next week, we could have a meeting at any time between now and the 7th, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
Once we get the petitions verified,
Okay, well, the first issue is, does anybody have a problem with the 5th?
I do.
You do? How about the 6th?
6 is fine,
Well, it depends what time.
in the morning.
I have a feeling that's gonna be a long meeting.
We could do we could tentatively set a 5 PM meeting for the 6th, and if we get an opportunity to move it up, we could certainly do that.
I would prefer that only because I want everyone to have the right to be heard. I don't wanna have to rush through a meeting. I don't wanna have to be worried that people need to go to work.
Are you okay with the 6th?
Can-
Okay.
can we
At
make it
5,
five?
I agree with 5 o'clock.
Can we make it 5:30, please? Because I broadcast from 3 to
That's fine.
5, and I won't get there 5.
5:30 is
Um,
fine. That gives
Our
everyone
next,
plenty of time to
our
do it.
next regular meeting will be set for Wednesday, September the 6th at 5:30 PM, unless there's a change, in which case everybody would be notified beforehand. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Director call the roll?
Mr. Monroe,
Yes.
Ms. Winbush.
Yes.
Mr. Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.